Well, when I was young, when I was about 12, I was interested in geography, and I developed an interest in the weather. I got given the Observer's Book of Weather. That had lots of pictures of clouds and everything, so I used to use that to identify clouds.
This is something that I've definitely learned to be interested in because it takes up quite a lot of Roger's time. I think it's very important to know what's going on around you, definitely.
We're measuring the wind speed and average gusts and highest gusts, and of course I'm contributing my own data so other people can see it.
Right up the top, it's very quiet, and the view just, especially in the morning, sunrise and looking east, it's just, it's lovely. Peace, I think that's the word.
Here, I just like seeing the expanse of space. I like being able to see a horizon line that's uninterrupted by tall buildings. I mean, I'm not particularly a rural person, but I do see, it's almost like a sort of a mental relief to be able to see, just to see some open space.
Well, us weather observers, we're not making predictions ourselves in terms of personal predictions. Probably up to 24, 48 hours. The accuracy has improved a lot. Their accuracy up to 5 days is about as good as what it used to be up to 2. The forecasts on the radio and some of the ones on the TV are pretty bad. They're just, I think, what planet are they on? They'll say, oh, it's lovely and sunny. I say, well, look out the window, it's raining.
Oh dear.
And I have emailed them, and my sister she emailed the BBC. She lives in Ealing. Not long after they went over, and she emailed them. And she never got a response about the quality of the forecasts. And I always look at it and take my own spin.
I think they're guessing. They're making it up as they go along. I still look at them every day, though.
I personally don't like them. I like just looking out the window and getting caught out every now and then.
I like control.
Yes, you like control.
I'm a control
and I
freak.
like chaos.
Yes, you like chaos, and I like control.
And then I try and generate chaos around you.
Yes, you do.
Just for the fun.
And that's her way of doing
Winding you up.
winding me up. But
But it is
I also
quite fun
feel
as
that
well. You do enjoy a bit of chaos. Deep down inside, when the chaos hits, you love it.
I try to forecast 2 days max. I think predictions are really vague. They don't give you direction.
My mum, she worked in forecasting. The reliable weather forecast is 5 days. Anything beyond 5 days is just made up. I remember going to the Amazon rainforest, and they said when he was a child, they used to be able to predict the weather almost to the date, the exact date when the seasons would change. And now there's not a chance. But when your life depends on it, or your livelihood does, I think you could probably get quite obsessive.
Crete. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's another level over there.
And the wildest rain.
Yes, I mean,
And lightning.
if you've never been to Crete, it's a big island. It's about 300 miles long. It's not like the Isle of Wight.
Okay, the two places I've experienced the worst windstorms are Chicago and Budapest. Both in the winter. Both of them, these cities are very, very prone to strong winds. Hungary is very flat. They literally get winds from Siberia. And then Chicago is surrounded by these lakes, and these windstorms whip up off of these lakes. Winds that feel like they could just slice you in half.
But back in Gosport, where we come from, they had a tornado which actually lifted caravans up in the air.
Tornadoes in Texas. Went through that. We went tornado hunting with a bunch of people from Dallas, Texas. Especially with the tornado, you could hear like the rumblings. It's a very eerie sort of sound. It sounds like twisting metal with earth. It's just such a weird sound.
You get to be able to relate very closely the temperature, what the reading is to how that feels. So generally, I used to step outside so I could probably tell within a couple of degrees what the temperature was. So when you read what it's like in Canada, it's minus 30, and although I've not actually been to minus 30, you can try and imagine what it's like to be there. I think that's what I like to do. So you're not just looking at figures, it's interpreting it to what it must feel like. Different people have different sensations, experience temperatures differently. I was working in facilities involved with buildings and temperatures and air conditioning. The fact that I had an interest in the weather, that was quite good, being able to relate the two. And I did used to have to mediate with people on thermostats. And in fact, one building I worked, we locked the sensors so people couldn't alter it.
I'm always cold. Pinky is always hot. Pinky wears short sleeves year round. But I think this is like a British thing, because I've noticed that like British people just like wear nothing in November and December. It could be absolutely freezing. You'll see girls walking around in like mini dresses. I'm permanently cold in this country.
Radiators should be banned from April to November.
Radiators.
Yep.
I think that because we were so blessed with this fantastic spell of weather, I mean, everybody's been saying to me it's the warmest, sunniest spring they ever remember. Even people who are in their 80s have said that to me. I think it made an enormous difference psychologically.
I don't like it too hot, like 30 degrees. I think 25, 28 is about right.
Yeah.
And it can be lovely over in Crete, but then again it can be lovely in this country. Because I think when the sun's out, everybody feels so much better. They want to go out, enjoy themselves, be more sociable, have friends round, barbecues.
I've been up here for the last 40 odd years. But over the period, definitely summers have got warmer on my records. Every year we reach new high temperatures. There's not so much snow around, so definitely the climate is changing. Overall it's getting warmer, and this was predicted back in the 90s, the early days of global warming, when it was a bit geeky to talk about something like that. I think on global warming, at the time, the Hadley Centre, which did all these predictions, it obviously at the time was just that, a prediction, and it was a theory. And I think it's only when events have started occurring with all the flooding that it's really hit home to the general public.
The thing I think about is if it's warm enough for long enough, do we get a quince this year? And we've got a quince, and we've got 6 cherries, and we've got a peach, and we've got 3 strawberries. And this is why you're obsessed with the weather, is actually I've got a quince. I haven't had a quince for 5 years.
Wow, that is so not how I think about it.
My first thing that comes to mind is that on a hot day, after I've been doing stuff, sit down, a bottle of ice cold Corona with a lemon in top.
Well, I guess it's a toss-up. Could be white wine, could be a gin and tonic, could be a mint julep.
Oh, I know what it is.
And you're thirsty.
You know, I'm super Mexican about this, but the best thing to eat is to eat one of those helados with crushed ice, where they put all the syrup on it. They do it in Mexico, and that thing is like a gazillion calories. It's a slushy, but it's on nitrous, right? Because it's just a lot of sugar, and they have to shave. This guy walks around with a cart, and in the cart is a humongous block of ice, just a massive block of ice, and he's got this special machine that he uses that's a scraper that collects the ice as he's scraping it into this compartment in the back, and he just and then he puts it on a plastic cone, and drops it in there, and then he says, what flavor do you want? And he gets 1,000 flavors. So you pick that one right there, that's the one I want. You don't even know what it is, but you want that one. You take that one, he pours it in there, and you just take a bite, and that is it.
Spoken with true passion. Who could argue with that?
That's good, man. That's some good stuff.